To set up your WordPress blog or website, we're going to be using AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. So what we will do is to head over to aws.amazon.com. And if you don't have an account, just go ahead and create one. Once you create your account, you will see your dashboard. So just head over to the search bar on the top left and type in Lightsail and click on Lightsail. You will be taken to the Lightsail dashboard. And as you can see, I already have some instances running. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have somewhere a button where it says create instance. I have it right here. So I'm going to click on create instance. You want to have the Unix selected. And if you scroll down, you can see that you can choose your flavor. So you can have a single WordPress instance or a multi-site, a LAMP stack, a Ghost blog. You can even have a cPanel. But for now, we're just going to select the single WordPress instance and scroll down. For demonstration purposes, we're going to be using the default SSH key. But if you want to create your own, just go ahead and change the SSH key pair. And scroll down. Now, as you can see, you can choose the different price plan. And 3 of them come with the first 3 months for free. And this is quite convenient. So I usually go for the 5 USD per month, and I find this to be quite sufficient for what I need and for what my clients needed in the past. And this comes with 512 megabytes of memory, 2 CPUs, 20 gigs of SSD storage, and 1 terabyte of transfer. So I'm just going to select 5 months for free, knowing that the first 3 months come on a free basis. And then after these 3 months, you're going to be charged 5 USD per month. And scroll down. We're going to give a name to this instance, and we're going to call it I broke the code, which is the name of my YouTube channel, WP. And once I have decided the name, I'm just going to click on create instance. Your instance is going to be in the pending state initially, and this is going to be the IP address associated to your instance. So we're just going to wait until this will change into running. Once your instance is in the running state, then you can see that you have a public IP address. So if I were to copy this IP address and paste it here into the URL, you will surely see that this will already point to your server, and this will contain a working WordPress blog. So this is already a success, but we're not done yet. If we head back onto the Lightsail dashboard and click on these 3 vertical dots, we can see that we have the option to delete, reboot, stop, manage, or connect to the instance. In some cases where you want to reboot the server, what happens is that this IP address will change. And this is not ideal because this IP address will then get associated to your domain name. And this were to change, you will also need to change the DNS records from your domain registrar to point to that new IP address. So what we want to do is to associate a static IP address to this server, so that even though this will change, the instance will always be associated to that static IP address. To do that, what we want to do is to click on the instance, I broke the code WP, and click on networking. And over here, we can see an option, attach static IP address. And we can give it a name to this static IP address, and we're going to call it I broke the code static IP. Create and attach. Okay, it says that the static IP address has been created, and continue. Now, this is our new IP address. Let's copy this and see what happens. We can see that here we have the old one. So if we were to copy the new one and click enter, this should point to the same page. So this has worked. What we want to do now is to make the association between our domain name, in my case, ibrokethecode.net, to this particular IP address. To do that, you will need to head over onto your domain registrar, which is the place where you originally bought the domain name. In my case, is GoDaddy. So if I go to godaddy.com, I will now sign in into my portal and go into my dashboard. And this is the domain that I want to connect, which is iBrokeTheCode. So if you scroll down, you can see that my domain name that I want to associate is right here. And I want to click on DNS. Once I'm on the DNS page, I want to click on Add New Record. And I'm going to select a type of a record. And then I'm going to leave it blank for now. Or actually, this is required. So you will need to put in a net sign. And the value would be the IP address here, my static IP address of my server. And I will click on Save. And what I also want to do is to click on Add a New Record, select an A type, and then click on www, and then reinsert my IP address. Okay, so what I have done is to basically instruct my DNS records to say whenever I put inside the URL ibrokethecode.net, you have to point to this IP address, and this will point onto the server here that I've just created. And the same thing happens if I type in www.ibrokethecode.net. It will need the same IP address. Just to make sure that it has worked, what I can do is to open another tab, and I'm going to use the old one here, and I'm going to type in ibrokethecode.net, and it should redirect onto the same page. And sure enough, this is redirecting me onto the same page because it's pointing onto the IP address of the instance I've created on Lightsail. Now, if you go back onto the page here on ibrokethecode.net, you can see that it's not secure. What you want to have is this little tiny lock, which means that your website is secure because it has a valid, what we call it, an SSL certificate. So we can go and install this onto the server. In order to do that, click on Connect, and you should see the Connect using the SSH. And this will open this window, and this means you're basically inside your server now. To install the SSL, what you have to do is to type in sudo, and then /opt/bitnami/bn cert -tool, and click on enter. It will prompt you to insert the list of domains that you want to secure. So in my case, it will be ibrokethecode.net, and also the www.ibrokethecode.net. Okay, and click enter. And it's going to say if you want to allow HTTP to HTTPS redirection, we want to put in yes. And then enable non-www to www redirection, yes. And then just click on default settings here. Do you agree to these changes? Of course I do, even though I haven't read them. And then my email address. And do you agree with the other terms? Of course I do. And then we're going to wait a little bit. Once the installation has been completed, you will be greeted with this message saying success, meaning that your certificate have been installed. So let's press on continue. And now to test it, let's head over to the tab where we opened the blog. As you can see, this is not secure, but if I now refresh the page, this should have the lock here, meaning that it's secure. Let's see. Refresh the page. And sure enough, we can see that we now have a lock, meaning that our blog is nice and secure. Now that you have a working instance of WordPress that it's being connected onto your domain and is secure and is hosted securely on a server, what you want to do is to access the back office of WordPress, so the admin dashboard, so that you can do stuff with it, right? So you want to customize the theme or write new blog posts and stuff like this. So to do that, what you want to do is to head over onto your the domain name, and then you want to add /wp admin. Click on enter, and this will take you onto the login page of WordPress. In order to find out the credentials, Lightsail uses some default credentials. For the username, it'll be user, and to find out the password, you will need to go back onto the SSH tunnel here. Let's click on clear. And to find out the password to the dashboard, you have to type in cat, and it's Bitnami credentials, and click on enter. And this will be the password that you have to use. So let's copy that. As you can see, the default username is going to be user, and the default password is password, but we can change this later. So if we head over back onto the WordPress login dashboard, we use user as the username, and then we're going to paste the password that we retrieved from the server, and click on login. Now, and we're inside the WordPress dashboard. So before I wrap this video up, as we're pretty much done, the one more thing that I want you to do is, so if you head over to settings and click on general, you can see that the WordPress address inside URL is http www.ibrokethecode.net. However, what you want to do is HTTP to be HTTPS. In order to do that, we will need to change the configuration file of WordPress from the SSH tunnel. So let's go back onto the terminal. We can clear this up. And I'm going to use Nano as the text editor. If you're not an IT guy or like a tech guy, just follow my steps and you'll be able to do it as well. So just type in sudo nano and then /opt/bitnami /WordPress /wp-config.php and click enter. Now, as you can see, we are inside that file, and we want to scroll down until we see something along the lines of WP site URL, which is right here. And we want to default it from HTTP to HTTPS. So go ahead and edit them. And now to save the changes, what you want to do is to click on Control X. And then it says, do you want to save the changes? Then you click on Y and click enter. And it's done. Now let's go back onto the dashboard to see whether it has worked. It will tell us to log in again. Refresh the page. And now we can see that it's nice and secure. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go down the nitty-gritty of how to customize your website, change themes, write blogs, do some other configuration. But hopefully by now you were able to, set up your Lightsail instance, attach a static IP address, connect your domain to point to that IP address, set up your WordPress blog, both the front end, assign the SSL certificate to make it secure, and access your dashboard. If you have any questions, or if you want me to show you how to change themes or to create a theme from scratch, if you like coding and stuff like this, just please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see what I can do for you. So yeah, that's it guys. Have fun.